Hey everyone. So today I woke up and I was thinking I'm in the mood for something a little bit sweet, maybe a little bit of spice to it. And I thought I have just the perfect dish for that. Watalappan. This is a lightly spiced coconut custard that comes from Sri Lanka. It's very simple to put together. Takes a little bit of time to cook, but you save that time on the front end with the very little prep that it takes. It's really a nice dish, and there's a couple of different methods to cooking it. Traditionally, it's steamed. We're gonna try steaming it, but in order to save some time, I'm gonna try also putting it in a water bath and baking it in the oven. We'll see which method comes out better. I think they'll come out roughly the same. So all right, let's get started. Okay, first we're gonna start by just breaking our jaggery up. If you're using brown sugar, you can skip this step. And I had a little bit that I had ground up earlier. Okay, and then to this, we're gonna add just a little bit of hot water. And you don't wanna add a lot, you just wanna add enough so we can dissolve this and make sort of a syrup. Okay, you wanna make sure the sugar completely dissolves and you get a nice syrup like this. You don't want to have chunks of sugar in there that people are going to bite into. So we can set this aside and we want to let it cool because we're going to add our egg to this in a little bit, but we don't want to cook the egg, so we'll set that aside and we'll continue with the rest of the prep. So our cardamom, we're going to take our pods, we're going to open them up. We just want the seeds. Okay, and then we can just take a small piece of nutmeg. If you're using powdered nutmeg, you can just use probably about a 1/4 teaspoon. And put this in the mortar along with our cardamom and just grind it into a powder, really getting the fragrance of those spices. It smells really nice. Okay, once we have a nice fine powder like that, we can go ahead and add it into our sugar mixture. We'll add a generous pinch of salt. And this is still a little bit hot, so we're going to set it aside. Okay, next we're going to take our cashews and chop them. And add these to our mixture. Okay, this is still a little bit hot, so we're going to let it continue to cool, and while we do that, we'll go ahead and set up our ramekins so that we can cook these. Okay, to our ramekins, we're going to take some butter, which I've softened, and we're just going to rub it around the inside to prevent sticking. If you want, you can use oil. Coconut oil would be a good alternative to butter. And then we'll set these aside. Okay, our sugar mixture has cooled nicely, so we can add our egg. So we've got 4 whole eggs, and then we're going to add to that 2 egg yolks.
We're just going to gently whisk this. You don't want to whisk it too vigorously because we don't want it to get frothy. It'll give it a... We want it to have a nice smooth texture. If we get bubbles in there, it's not going to be quite as nice. We just want everything to combine. Okay, and then when everything comes together in a nice thick mixture, we're going to go ahead and add our coconut milk. And just bring everything together into a nice even mixture. Okay, now we've got everything thoroughly mixed, so we're ready to go into our ramekins. Okay, so like I said, we're going to try a couple of different methods of cooking this. One, we're just going to use traditional steam. So I've got a pan here that I'm going to put some water in, and then I've got a steam tray that will sit on top. Put 3 of them in here, and then we're going to steam it through this. And then this, we're going to put about 1 inch of water, and we're going to just set 3 ramekins in that, and we're going to put it in the oven and bake it at about 175 degrees Celsius, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So the oven is preheating right now. Both prep methods, it's going to take probably about 45 minutes. So, you know, this thing is probably only going to hold 3 ramekins. That's why I decided it would be a good idea to try both, just save a little bit of time. So yeah, so let's load our ramekins. You want to leave a little bit of room at the top. You don't want to fill it all the way. Okay, now we're going to wrap each one of these in foil. That'll keep moisture from condensing on the top. All right, now that we got these wrapped in foil, we'll go ahead and set up our pans so we can cook them. Okay, first we're gonna pour about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of water into a baking pan. And we'll set these in here. Space them out evenly. We'll set that aside. And then we're going to add about 2 inches of water to this pan. Like I said, this is going to cook on the stove for about 45 minutes. We don't want it drying out, so we want to make sure there's enough water in here. But we also don't want to go over the top of our steam tray. So we'll set the other 3 in here. We're going to put these in the oven, and then we'll set these on our burner. We'll leave the heat on high for a bit just to get it steaming, and then once we start to get some steam, we'll turn the heat down to low and let it sit. Put a tight fitting lid on top. Okay, like I said, once this starts to steam, we're going to turn the heat down to low, and then we'll come back and check on it in about a half hour. Overall cook time I expect is going to be 45 minutes, but we want to make sure it doesn't overcook. Hey Google, set a timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now.
Okay, it's been 30 minutes and you can see that this has firmed up quite a bit. This is the one that's been cooking in the pot. So these are finished. So we'll take these off the heat now. We'll set them aside and let them cool. And we'll check on the ones that were in the oven. All right, these still need quite a bit more time. They're still pretty soft. So I'd say they're probably going to take another half hour. So we'll put these back in the oven. In the meantime, we can plate up the ones that we cooked on the stove. All right, to plate these up, you're going to take your ramekin and you're going to take a knife and you're going to run it along the inside edge. And this will loosen up your custard. And then we're going to take it and just turn it upside down. Then you take one cashew, put it right on top, and it's ready to serve. It's really nice. The spices are really wonderful in there with the coconut. You get the nice crunchiness of the cashew. Very nice dish. And so that's it. You get a rich custard with the freshness of coconut, the taste of nutmeg, cardamom, my favorite spice. And, you know, in terms of custards, it doesn't get much easier than this. Very little prep. So I hope you enjoyed watching. You know, give it a try. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We're always happy to have new subscribers. And we look forward to seeing you again next time. Thanks for watching.